modern stress is destroying sex life everywhere, in ways most people never see coming. And what makes it even more confusing is that many couples think the problem is them, when really, the problem is the world they're living in. So if you've ever wondered why your intimacy feels different, why desire suddenly feels low, or why emotional connection feels harder than it used to be, you're not alone. And today, we're going to talk about why modern stress is quietly rewiring the mind, the body, and relationships in ways that directly affect intimacy. I'm the intimacy doctor, real talk, real science, real intimacy, and by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what's happening, but you'll know exactly how to begin healing it. Let's start with something simple but rarely discussed honestly. The human body was never designed for constant notifications, endless pressure, or the speed of modern life. The nervous system is built for cycles of activation and rest, but today, most people stay stuck in activation all day long. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between a real threat and a stressful email or a financial worry. And when the nervous system stays in that activated mode for too long, it automatically shuts down the parts of the body responsible for intimacy, desire, emotional connection, and even pleasure. Not because anything is wrong with you, but because your brain thinks it's protecting you. Think about it when someone feels overwhelmed, emotionally exhausted, or mentally overloaded. The last thing the body wants to do is open up, trust, or connect deeply. Intimacy requires safety. Stress tells the body, you're not safe. So what happens? Desire drops. Communication becomes harder. Partners feel distant. Misunderstandings grow. And couples start blaming themselves instead of recognizing the deeper truth. The problem isn't a lack of love. It's a lack of nervous system safety. One thing I want you to reflect on is this. How often do you give your mind a break? Not scrolling, not half. Working, not half. Resting, but truly decompressing. Share your answer down below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if this resonates with you already, hit that like button so more people can understand this too. Now let's move into our first major insight, which is rooted in psychology and relationship science. Chronic stress turns partners into roommates. When stress builds up in the body, emotional bandwidth shrinks. You have less patience, less empathy, and less space inside yourself to connect. And when your emotional bandwidth shrinks, you start operating in survival mode, not partner mode. Survival mode changes the way you communicate. You speak faster, listen less deeply, misunderstand more easily, and often assume negative intentions. You might snap over small things or shut down completely. You might interpret neutral behavior as rejection or lack of interest. And this is where modern couples get stuck, not in a lack of attraction, but in a lack of emotional capacity. And when emotional capacity drops, intimacy naturally drops with it. The research on this is clear. Humans need emotional safety for desire to activate. You need your nervous system to feel calm, grounded, and connected. You need trust. You need warmth. You need emotional closeness. But none of those things can grow when your body is flooded with cortisol. And this is why so many people say things like, I love my partner, but I don't feel the same spark. Or I care about them deeply, but I feel distant. Or I want to feel connected, but I'm just tired. It's not a lack of love, it's a lack of emotional space. So here's the first practical takeaway. Slow down intentionally. Not because slowing down fixes everything, but because slowing down signals to the nervous system that you're safe again. When safety rises, connection rises. When connection rises, intimacy rises. Even something as simple as 5 minutes of slow breathing, a short walk together, or a quiet moment without screens can shift the entire emotional tone of a relationship. When was the last time you created intentional calm together? Think about it for a moment. Our second major insight is something many people never realize. Your brain cannot feel desire when it feels watched, judged, or pressured, even subtly. And modern life is filled with invisible pressure. Pressure to perform, pressure to compare, pressure to be productive, pressure to be enough. All of this creates a constant tension in the body, and that tension shows up in intimacy. When someone feels conscious, their mind splits into one part trying to connect, the other part evaluating themselves. Do I look okay? Am I doing this right? Are they thinking about something else? That internal evaluation creates anxiety, and anxiety blocks openness. Your body cannot relax into intimacy when your mind is busy trying to manage your image. This is why emotional intelligence matters so deeply. When partners communicate in ways that reduce pressure, the nervous system opens. When they communicate in ways that increase pressure, even accidentally, the nervous system closes. Here's a practical example. Instead of asking your partner, "Why don't you ever want to connect anymore?" try asking, "Is there something on your mind that's been weighing on you lately?" The first question creates pressure. The second question creates emotional safety. Emotional safety is where intimacy grows. Another example, instead of assuming your partner's distance is rejection, consider that they might be overwhelmed, tired, or mentally overloaded. Curiosity creates connection. Assumptions create distance. This is where communication becomes a healing tool rather than a defensive reaction. Our third insight goes deeper into relationship psychology. Emotional disconnection often comes before physical disconnection, not the other way around. Many couples think intimacy drops first and emotional connection drops second, but studies show it's usually the opposite. When people feel misunderstood, undervalued, unseen, or emotionally alone, the body withdraws long before the mind notices. The body keeps score of stress and emotional disconnection. This is why small gestures matter so much. A gentle touch on the back, a supportive comment, a genuine "How are you really feeling today?" These small signals tell the nervous system, this person is safe, this relationship is safe, this connection matters, and the more safety you build, the more intimacy becomes natural, not forced. So here's a question for you. What small gesture from a partner makes you feel the most connected? Comment below. Your answer might resonate with someone who needs to hear it. Now let's look at the fourth major insight. Stress turns intimacy into a task instead of a connection. When something becomes a task, the mind shifts into responsibility mode rather than desire mode. You start thinking in checklists. You start thinking in obligations. You start thinking "we should connect" instead of "I want to connect." And when intimacy becomes something you should do, the spark drops instantly. Desire is spontaneous. Stress is restrictive. When you're overloaded, you don't feel playful, curious, or emotionally open. You feel tight, you feel rushed, you feel exhausted. And exhaustion kills curiosity, the foundation of connection. But here's the hopeful part. Desire can be rebuilt when partners create the right emotional environment. When there is presence, affection, supportive communication, stress-free moments, and small acts of care, the nervous system slowly opens again. The spark isn't gone, it's hiding behind stress. A simple practice you can try tonight: sit with your partner for 2 minutes, phones away, and make eye contact. Not in a forced romantic way, simply in a connected human way. The brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, even with quiet presence. 2 minutes of grounded connection can do more for intimacy than 2 hours of forced effort. Our fifth insight is something both science and psychology agree on. Intimacy is a mirror of emotional health. When you're emotionally regulated, connected, and supported, intimacy expands naturally. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, disconnected, or silently carrying stress, intimacy contracts. The body does not lie. This is why modern couples must treat emotional wellness as part of relationship wellness. Sleep matters, rest matters, healthy communication matters, understanding your partner's nervous system matters. Empathy matters, trust matters, emotional availability matters. These are not small things. They are the foundation of a healthy, intimate life. So here's the takeaway. If you want a better intimate relationship, start by creating a calmer emotional environment in your mind, in your life, and in your relationship. The nervous system controls connection, and you control the signals your nervous system receives. Before we close, I want you to think about one question. What is one small habit you can change that would reduce stress in your daily life? Share it in the comments. Someone else might learn from your insight. And if this message resonates with you, hit that like button so more people can understand how modern stress impacts intimacy. If you want more content on emotional intelligence, communication, trust, connection, relationship advice, and relationship science, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video from the Intimacy Doctor. And when you're ready for the next step, watch the next video on how emotional wounds quietly affect desire and connection. It's one of the most important topics I've ever covered, and it ties perfectly into everything we discussed today.